What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of my Football Manager save. This is episode number 97. And so returning with the finale of Season 10 and our second year with Dortmund, where we need a miracle in order to stop Bayern Munich winning 20 championships in a row. And we're returning slightly early today as well. Our penultimate game is away at the Olympiastadion against Hertha Berlin, going for a European place. Before we play that on the Saturday, Bayern can effectively win the title today if they beat Mönchengladbach with nothing to play for at home at the Allianz. Or the evening kickoff, sorry, not the afternoon kickoff. But anyway, basically, if Bayern win this late kickoff here, then they are champions. They'll go 6 points clear with a game to go. And that has basically done it. Bayern Munich are surely going to be champions for the 20th time in a row. They've gone 6 clear. We'll need to win back-to-back. And they'll need to lose away at Hoffenheim on the final day in order to not win their 20th in a row. It's basically done now. Still, let's make sure we take it to the final day and also set a new points record for Borussia Dortmund in a Bundesliga season as well. Back in the 2012 season, which would have been the last time that Dortmund were Bundesliga champions, they set a club record of what was the most points in a Bundesliga season of 81. If we win one of our final 2 games, we'll eclipse that record. But it kind of sums up the dominance of Bayern Munich when we can set a record points haul in a season and still finish runners-up. So heading into the game away against Hertha Berlin at the Olympiastadion, Mane is suspended for this game after picking up the booking in our win over Stuttgart, but everyone else is fine. And this will be our team, 4-3-3, going balanced in this game away at the Olympiastadion, with Cabell in goal and the back 4 being next to Dragon, Creswell and Striddy, Cruz and Oscan, our DMGO, with Dos Santos on the left, Company on the right, and Reina supporting Mukoko. On the bench you got Olszewski, Schlotterbeck, Watjen, Lokonga, Landshuter, Diaz, Vima Romero, and TL as well. Final away day, it's Hertha, and only a win keeps us in the race heading into the final day. Come on, Dortmund. I love that Believe poster slapped to the back of the wall there in the away changing room. I mean, I appreciate the optimism, lads, but I think it's done. Bayern are going to slip up on the final day at home. Who do you think they are? Borussia Dortmund? Come on now. Dear, oh dear. Come on, Dortmund. Let's at least set the points record for Dortmund, shall we? Get to 82 and at least take it to the final day. The closest we've come to Bayern in these 2 years, but unfortunately the throwaway, that loss away at Leipzig and then the 2-0 bottle job away at the Allianz is why we are going to come up short and runners up once again. Our away form is just unfortunately the reason why we're not going to do this, because that's offside, surely, it's a goal there, it's not going to count. I know I've said this before, but at the end of the day, I really do feel as though away form is just blunt. He's well offside, isn't he? My goodness. Matt, mate, you seem lost. Seriously, I do feel as though away days are just far too hard to win. And don't get me wrong, I understand, obviously, realistically, away games are harder to win than home games, but I do feel as though they're just a little bit too OP. Do you know what I mean? I just feel they are a little bit too OP. You go into any away game against any team and think you're probably going to lose. At the very best, get a draw regardless of how dominant you might be. Mukoko has been so bloody inconsistent this year. That should have been one. Lovely give and go with Fernando, and he puts it straight at the goalkeeper. This is the thing with Yusufa. As well class as he is, the amount of one-on-ones he misses infuriates me. It's ridiculous. Enrique Araujo, I swear, converted practically every single one-on-one. Mukoko, he misses half the one-on-ones he goes in for. I don't know why. He's got 19 composure. It's ridiculous. Even so, good save, keeps it at 0-0. But we've responded well after the early disallowed goal. And that, once again, right on cue, is why Mukoko infuriates me. 2 one-on-ones, he's missed them both. 2 minutes to go before the break as we're still deadlocked at 0-0. Looking for that breakthrough, and really it should only be a matter of time here with the dominant display we've shown in this first 45 minutes. Fernando over the top. Mukoko, is it third time to chance for Yusufa? It is! Chips it over the oncoming goalkeeper for goal number 27. But the thing that infuriates me is knowing it took him 3 opportunities to get this goal. He should have had a hat-trick in 44 minutes. Instead, he's only taken 1 of the 3. Yes, he's got 27 this season, but realistically, he should be pushing 50. Even so, finally, he breaks that deadlock and gets the ball to find the back of the net. 1-0 Dortmund. Fernando is so good. Honestly, I am so happy. I signed him on deadline day. I would have regretted that massively because he probably would have gone to Bayern in this summer window for like 50 mil or whatever. Instead, he's mine as Hertha Berlin. Oh, what a block! Charlie Creswell. I thought Hertha was surely going to level it, and it's a goal-saving block from the English-born fan favourite in Germany. Give him a new contract. He's class, mate. Charlie Creswell has been one of my favourite players in this team. He is absolutely superb. He's a brick at the back as Hertha looking for that late leveller here. And, oh, they've got it. And it's a former Dortmund man. Karim Adeyemi has surely won Bayern the title now. And for all our dominance, unfortunately, we're going to slip up in the final stages away at Hertha Berlin. But, like I said, away days, I just feel like in this year's FM, they are just far too hard to win, especially consistently. That's it. Bayern Munich have won the Bundesliga 20 times in a row. And it is over. We'll try and set the points record for Dortmund on the final day. But now, Bayern Munich can celebrate their championship 20 times in a row. How are we ever going to stop them? It's ridiculous. I mean, it really is. I don't know how we can ever stop them, you know? I mean, seriously. 20 times in a row. And they're just getting better, you know? It's unbelievable. But that just goes to show you how class they are, knowing that we're one win away from setting a new Dortmund record for points, and yet it's still not enough. But again, look at this. Look at this. Only the one game out of all the games we failed to win this season was at home, and that was against Bayern, you know, the 20-time-in-a-row champions. But Leipzig, Freiburg, Hertha, Bayern, Eintracht Frankfurt, Düsseldorf, Bayer Leverkusen, all of those games were away days. I really do just feel, and I know that obviously it's harder to win on the road than it is at home. I take that point, you know, obviously, but I still feel it's just a little too hard to win on the road consistently. And the frustrating thing is just knowing that they're about to add to their world-class team with one of the best wonder kids in this year's save. And that is, of course, Endrick, because Endrick has been linked with a move to Bayern all season long. They'll have the money to pick him up in the summer. He's won everything there is to win at Real Madrid, you know, the Champions League, the La Liga, the Copa del Rey. He's won everything there is to win. So he's looking for a new challenge. He'll get it at Bayern. That major interest has been there all through the season. And with that release clause, they've got the money to pay that. They're going to bring him in the summer. So they're now going to get probably the best striker in the save as well. So I really do feel it was this year or never. We had to do it this year and we just couldn't. Right then, final game of the season, and on the back of the slip-up away at Olympiastadion, it's a meaningless game, though it probably was going to be anyway, as we welcome Düsseldorf for the final game of the season, where we'll see some send-offs today, some final Dortmund appearances here for some key players as well. Fernando went down in training, so we'll miss the final day, but we'll see Cabell probably play his final game for the club. 1 year left on his deal, but I've said he can go in the summer now at 34 years old, a long-serving captain. Probably going to play his final game between the sticks. Luca Netz Schlotterbeck, who's about to join Atletico Madrid. He is going to play his final game today alongside the Dragon and Stridi at right back. Kruse and Ozcan, who's probably going to play his final game for the club, out of contract in a few weeks' time. I'm going to offer him a new one as a squad player, but I don't know if he'll accept it. I think he wants to move on. Reyna's on the left, Romero's on the right, and the kid Landshuter comes in supporting Yusufa Mukoko. On the bench you got Olszewski, Creswell, Mane, Watjen, Lakonga, who also might play his final game for the club, Diaz, who also might play his final game for the club, Wimmer Company and TL as well. Final game, it's Düsseldorf. If we win, we set a new Dortmund points record in the Bundesliga. It won't matter for much, we'll still finish runners-up regardless. Come on, Dortmund. That is not the start I wanted. The wonder kid, Angelo, has just gone down with a potential knee injury. Please tell me that's not ligament damage. He's come on leaps and bounds this year, Landshuter, so I'll bring on Brahim Diaz, probably his final game for the club. So 15 minutes in, and already the wonder kid goes down with what could potentially be a serious injury. It's not quite the way I wanted to start the final game of the season. Diaz over the top, and Mukoko's on the end of that one there, and oh, what a finish. Just a hopeful long ball from Brahim, playing for a new contract, expiring in a few weeks, and he's just got an assist as Mukoko finishes an absolute beauty. That was such a bizarre goal. I mean, Diaz just picked it up and said, Yusufa, off you go, son, off you go. Hits it long. Mukoko takes a touch and then bangs one in top corner. What a bizarre goal. Dragon to Romero. And Luca gives it back to Strilly as we'll get our foot on the ball and pass our way forward. Still leading by 1. Aim to get a 2-goal cushion right before the break in a farewell game for Nico, Ozcan, and again possibly Gregor Cabell as well. The old guard all saying goodbye and wanted to bow out with a win. Here's Yusufa once again sent through by Diaz and puts it in bottom corner. Yusufa, stat padder, Mukoko. He seems to get a handful of goals regularly against teams that are mid-table in unimportant games. If you ask him to turn it on in the biggest of games, and oftentimes he goes missing. Even so, Mukoko with another one. It's now 30 for the season. It's 2-0 Dortmund. I think it's a bit harsh on Yusufa, to be fair. I mean, he scored the opening goal against Bayern in that game at the Allianz. He actually scored the winning goal, didn't he, in the Super Cup at the start of the season. That's a bit harsh on Mukoko, calling him a stat padder. But even so, it's 2-0, and he's now going for a first-half hat-trick here. As Diaz is going to get a first-half hat-trick assist. No, he's not. He should have done, but Romero blazes it over the bar. Still 2-0, and now Luca standing over this free kick, aiming to wrap it up. Romero can hit the target this time from 25 yards. Oh, off the crossbar, and the Dragon blazes it over. Dragon to Cruiser, and now Romero. Oh, what a finish from Luca. Question marks as to whether he was just a fraction offside, but knowing Loreen, I bet he played that pass in the exact right moment. You know, you've seen it on camera, you've seen it many times. The way this guy just has this third eye is on. Maybe that's the nickname for Loreen, you know? Third eye or 3 eyes. His passing, his vision, his timing. It's just ridiculous. Do you know who he reminds me of? Radulovic. He used to do that in my Bournemouth team. Loreen's like a step up from Radulovic. Don't like the red arrows, but even so. Beautiful pass, another assist. Dortmund lead by 3 and are surely now going to set the record for most points in a single season by a Borussia Dortmund team. It will come in vain, finishing runners-up. We're making a statement on the final day to Bayern that we ain't going anywhere, even though they are 20 time in a row champions, so they're not going to care though. I just caught myself off saying that. They're not going to care that we're still there. They're still always going to be firm favourites to win the championship. Reina into the middle, and Mukoko scores, but I think he was offside. I don't think that'll stand there. Right then, let's say farewell to the boys, one by one. Are you guys like me? Are you a bit nerdy like this? Like you take those players off for their farewell and they can applaud the fans on the way out? I'm a massive nerd, and I know we've only got 2 stoppages now because of the land shooter. So what we'll do is we'll take 2 of them off at the same time. We'll take off Ozcan first for Watgen. We'll take off Nico as well for let's bring on Sammy Lecon because it might be his final appearance as well. We shall swap those 2 roles around because Cruiser can play as a centre half now. And in a moment, I'll take off the captain Cabell as well. Can't believe it, man. 3 of the seniors all about to leave in the summer. We kind of blew the team up in the summer window with the sales of Bradley and so on. But it's going to be even bigger changes this summer. The old guard, the team leaders, all of them going. Ozcan, Cabell and Schlotterbeck. I'm pretty sure all 3 are going to leave in this summer window. It's going to be a big change in the transfer window. Question is, will we be able to reinvest and bring in the right replacements? That's the real question. I don't know if Cabell will be allowed to claim a clean sheet if I sub him off in the final few minutes, but it won't matter anyway because he can't win the Golden Glove now regardless because you know who, Diogo Costa has already claimed it. But do you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. Gregor, captain, is coming off for Olszewski. And farewell to Gregor Cabell. The long-serving Dortmund captain makes way for most likely the final time as a Dortmund player. We'll see the game out 3-0, which means we do set a new record of points in a single season by a Dortmund team. But of course it comes in vain as we finish runners-up to 20-time in a row champions Bayern Munich. And it is ligament damage for Landshooter. That's worrying. That's worrying. Hopefully that won't become a recurring injury. Ligament damage at that early age is always a worrying sign. Even so, well done Dortmund. It's runners-up. It is a new points record. But as Schlotterbeck goes, as Ozcan and Cabell are surely going to go as well. I'm still proud of the season we are. We were one goal away from 100. That would have been treble figures for the first time since I've been here. We had the best defensive record in the country. We were only 5 behind the champions Bayern in the end. I'm still proud of this season. We pushed Bayern almost all the way to the end there. I'm still proud of the season. Whether we'll get another chance or not, I don't know. 20 in a row for Bayern Munich because we're now going to drop off the list. But we showed Bayern we are closing the gap. We're not there yet, but we are narrowly closing the gap. So after the prize money, our balance now is up to 84 million. Because our transfer budget is more than that. I don't want to put Dortmund in the red, you know. I mean, you can tell when I arrived, can't you? But look at that, honestly. But even so, we're gonna have to make a star signing in the summer again. You know, Schlotterbeck is about to go, so we'll get an extra 20 million for that. And again, I probably will sell Cabell because I promised him he can go. We won't get much money for him, though. We'll only get a few million, and we will save some money on the contract. Ozcan's probably going to go as well, though, again, we'll save some money on the contract. But really, in the summer, I think we're going to have to sell another one of our star players. I think we'll need to sell. I don't want to sell Company, but, you know, maybe a Romero. I don't want to sell Reina, that's for sure, but maybe a Romero. Maybe even Creswell. I'm not too sure. Maybe Luca Netz, but I think we'd have to sell another star player in order to get the target that I really want. And that target is, of course, Urisevic. I think if we can get a class ball-winning midfielder, and Urisevic is probably the best in the world right now, then we might be able to possibly once again run it back against Bayern and push them all the way. But we're not going to have the money to do it unless we sell another star player, I would say. Also, how do we replace Gregor Cabell between the sticks? Club captain. 10 years here. You know, I'm tempted to promote Jorge, the new Guillermo Ochoa, and give him a go. You know, throw him in. Because he is described as a wonder kid. He's growing really nicely in our reserve team right now. Whether he's as good as Cabell, well, I don't think so just yet. But at 19, he certainly can become as good. But that's a big question. How do we replace Gregor Cabell between the sticks? So as the season comes to its end, you can see the club vision does not change after I signed that new 4-year deal. The Dortmund board are very realistic. They don't expect us to win the title in the next 3 or 4 years, but eventually they want us to win that Bundesliga. And I think based on the way we did this season, we probably can do that. I said before, in order to topple Bayern, I think it is going to take around 4 to 5 years. So we're sort of on the right time frame, if you will, but you know, if we can set a new points record and still not be able to do it, that kind of says it all, really. But again, I think realistically, just challenge for that title. You know, we don't need to win it. But we just got to make sure we challenge it. Oh, come on, mate. Be a bit more ambitious. Oh, wow. Just seeing Erasmus going through. Bournemouth have just won the Europa League, so the Cherries are back in the Champions League regardless for next season. Go on, the Cherries, as Emirates leads them to the Europa League. Here's the DFB Pokal final, by the way. Mönchengladbach versus Bayern as Bayern go for back-to-back domestic doubles. Oh, Mönchengladbach stopped them on pens. So it's not going to be a back-to-back domestic doubles for Bayern. But even so, well done, Mönchengladbach. Borussia Dortmund can reflect on a job well done this season as they defied expectations and won the German Super Cup. Oh dear. You know, it was a good season, to be fair. I mean, I know we underperformed drastically in the Cup, and I suppose in the Champions League as well. But even so, to have pushed Bayern almost every step of the way, win a minor honour in the Super Cup, and finish with a record points haul, I think it was a good season, all things considered. We're still chasing that first major honour with Dortmund, but we definitely made a statement this year. We showed Bayern that they can't afford to be complacent. We are going to push them every step of the way from here on out. Cool. Got a new Steam achievement down there in the bottom right. That's nice to see. God, I must say, I'm nervous about this summer window. You know, I really am. We blew the squad up last summer to give us a new identity. Unfortunately, didn't change the full. Oh wow! Oh no way! Manager of the year for the first time. Yep, Nagelsmann, you can have your Bundesliga now 20 times in a row. But hey, I won the manager of the year. So saving grace, silver lining. Named as players manager of the year with Torres second heights first. See, there we go. It's something. It's nice to have won the manager of the year, but. Yeah, Bayern is still the best team. And so, as we close out the season, officially the Champions League final is Chelsea versus the holders Real Madrid. And Endrick won't bow out by retaining the CL with Real Madrid. Chelsea have won it for the third time in the club's history. If they won it in the save out, I don't know. So it's third time in the club's history. Chelsea Champions League winners by beating Real Madrid in the final. So, yeah, I think Endrick is definitely going to go now, no doubt about it. Bayern have been scouting him all season long. They'll have the money to meet that release clause. I think we're going to see Endrick lining up for Bayern next season at the Allianz Arena, as if their team couldn't get even stronger. But we shall leave it there, guys. So big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed the season and the finale as well. If you have, then please do drop a like. It's a record amount of points in a single season for Dortmund in the Bundesliga, and yet it still wasn't enough to... Okay. It still wasn't enough to topple the great Bayern Munich, but we'll return in the next episode with a brand new season as we'll aim to improve our team even more in the summer and hopefully get back on this long list of past winners where it's been Bayern for as long as we can remember. 20 times in a row, my goodness. Have a great day, guys. Much love, and we will see you for a brand new season with Borussia Dortmund. Season 11 in the save, where we're certainly going to make some big moves in the... What's going on here? Some big moves in the summer window if we're to have any chance whatsoever of toppling the great Bayern Munich and stopping them from winning what would be then 21 titles in a row. Can they ever be stopped? Maybe next season will be the one. But if it is going to be, we'll need to improve our team in the summer. Have a great day, guys. Much love, and I'll see you for a brand new season. Our third year with Dortmund and 11th in the save. Do you know what? This might be the longest FM save I've ever done now, I think. Possibly, I'm not too sure. Even so, I'll see you at the start of season 11 with all the transfers coming in the transfer special very soon.